Well, hello XANGO Nation, Joe Morton here, coming at you from the home office of Lehi, Utah. I'm joined with my partner, Mr. Aaron Garrity, CEO and Chairman of the Board. We're going to be talking about a movement that's awesome, it's going great right now. Energy is off the charts, it's called MB30. Let me tell you, I had this great experience. I was in Guadalajara, Mexico 2 nights ago. Coming straight from Guadalajara, I was with one of the guys that's part of this movement, MB30. He was in Guadalajara, rallying his groups, getting his groups together. Got on a plane, came straight to Phoenix, Arizona. I was in Tommy Johnson's house in Phoenix, Arizona. Packed, right out the door, right out in the backyard. It's crazy. MB30 stands for Millionaire by 30. What is this? What is this 2020 these 2020 parties? What is this movement? That's what we're talking about today. Last night, in fact, Tommy happens to be in town because he was doing an MB30 meeting last night here at the office with Aaron Garrity. And in fact, you could find, you can get this recorded if you weren't able to watch it last night on tv.xango.com. So find it there. It's going to be there for only a couple days, so watch it. But here we are. We're talking about MB30. We're talking about this great movement. We're talking about Limitless, leading with Limitless. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my great partner, Mr. Aaron Garrity, to talk a little bit about the inception of this.
Thank you, Joe. And Joe is the founder of XANGO, ladies and gentlemen, the guy who found the fruit. Grateful to be here with you and to have Tommy and Ashley, who are going to be coming up here in just a few minutes to talk with you about the MB30 movement. You know, for the last couple of years, I've said that people will actually do what XANGO did over the course of the years in their own organizations. Remember, when XANGO started in 2002, we were new. We started with one distributor in one city, in one state, in one country. Today, we're in 43 countries throughout the world, 27 offices, 50 distribution centers, and over 2 million distributors. That's a pretty incredible accomplishment in just 10 years. But XANGO hit its first billion in sales, cumulative billion in sales, by its 5th year of business. Now, what I've gone out and said is there will be distributor groups, there will be organizations within XANGO that will create XANGOs within XANGO. And this is one of them. This is what's so exciting about the MB30 movement. You know, you grow sales as a business owner by expanding your product reach, expanding your product line, or actually delving into new markets. And as XANGO, that's what we've done over the course of a decade. We've taken XANGO juice into all of the countries in which we now find our business. We have expanded that international reach to include other product lines that enhance the business and the ability to build a business. And of course, when it comes to movements like MB30, this is a movement that is capturing the world by storm. And I'm so excited to be a part of it and talk about it today. You know, Joe talked about 3 things: Limitless, 2020, MB30. Simply stated, the fact of the matter is MB30 is a movement. It's a distributor movement that is out there gaining steam. What it means is Millionaire by 30. And that is the big, hairy, audacious goal. That is what kids are drawing a line in the sand saying, I want to be one. I don't accept the way of previous generations where you necessarily have to go through this system to this system to this system to become financially independent. As a matter of fact, the chances are if you follow what has been done in the past, you're not going to be independently wealthy. So you learn from people who have achieved wealth, and that's what the MB30 movement is all about. The opportunity is 2020 parties. Whenever you have a 2020 party in XANGO, what it means is you're focusing on this particular movement. If you have a XANGO meeting, we know it's going to be generally about XANGO. It's going to be about the mangosteen and xanthones. If you have a 2020 meeting, it is focusing on a particular market segment, in fact, that didn't even exist 10 years ago when we started the company. Why didn't it exist? Because these guys were teenagers. They are now in their early, mid, and late 20s, and they are ready to take the world by storm, owning their own businesses, being entrepreneurs, and delving into creating their own financial independence. It's an incredible thing. From there, we focus on Limitless. One of the things that we know about achieving great success, because success doesn't just come to you, you have to work for it, you have to go after it, is when you have focus, you can achieve far greater things. So you get your team united talking about the same things in the same settings, you're going to have a really, really good growth phase. And Tommy Johnson's going to talk to you about that here in just a few minutes. But one of the things we know, what drove us to the $1 billion mark in just 5 years, starting with just one distributor, was our focus on XANGO. Well, XANGO is throughout the world right now, and that focus is being taken to many, many countries and will be taken to many more countries in the future. But here in an existing marketplace where we've been doing business for 10 years, that focus behind the 2020 opportunity is limitless, because the kids want to talk about better energy, increased energy, better health, and financial opportunity. Those are the three things that they focus on, and who doesn't want to talk about that? We have the product, we have the company, we have the actual fact that people have become millionaires in this company. So that's the line in the sand. MB30 is the movement. So the question is, do you have to be in your 20s to do a 2020 party? The answer is absolutely not. Do you think Coke basically says we're going to market to teenagers or young adults or people in their 30s and basically say we've got to only employ those types of people? No. They actually look for gaining market share, and ultimately as a business owner, that's what you do. You go after the market. The market is there. The market is ready. Kids are wanting to take ownership for their financial independence. So we have that opportunity right before us. So anyone, any age can throw a 2020 party. It's just gearing it toward that particular market segment. Now, this whole movement was the result of a meeting that took place in Mexico City. Tommy Johnson, Joe Morton, myself, we spoke in Mexico at one of our 500K Selects, Estela Salinas' meeting in, was it late January, early February. And Estela, it was interesting because when we got to the point of recognition, when her new 20Ks and premieres and 100Ks came on the stage, it was interesting to see that the vast majority of them were actually in their 20s. And these individuals who walked on stage were the ones that put all the people in the room. Now there were 3,500 plus people watching that event. It was an amazing event. As a matter of fact, it blew Tommy Johnson's mind. And Tommy has built an incredible organization. He's a 200K Select, one of the most successful networkers, I would say, of all time, and certainly one of the highest paid in the history of XANGO. Now this is a guy who's done it. This is a guy who was trained by one of the best all-time networkers as his mentor. And Tommy basically said, oh my gosh, this is incredible. You know, having built an organization, I've never done this. I've never had an event like this where all these young people bring together so many people who want to work the business. And it was from there that we started to talk, and the whole concept of MB30 came to mind. And it was Estela Salinas' work and showing that it could be done that proved it to Tommy that this is a market that you can go after. And I remember specifically when Estela started this movement, it was 3 years ago, I think. Estela had achieved the ranks of Premier and 200K and 500K in just a very short period of time. So with each of those levels, we actually take you on incentive trips. As a Premier, we take you to Thailand with all expenses paid for a week, and we station in one of the most beautiful places on earth, Phuket, Thailand. As a 200K, we had taken Estela and all the 200Ks to Rome, Italy, and Venice. It was an incredible event. And then for the 500K event, we took her to Paris. Okay, those are great things, but it started in the spring and ended at the beginning of summer. Now, if you think about what we did, is we took her out of her market for 3 months. And then the summer months hit. And what happens, you know, when you kind of ignore your organization for 90 days? Well, your organization starts to, it'll start to dwindle, right? Because you're not there leading it, or your leaders aren't promoting it. And so you ignore anything for long enough, it'll start to dwindle. And Estela got back, and she knew that she had to kind of bring the life back. She had so much to tell people with the likes of the events that she had been on and the growth that she had seen throughout the world. She wanted to bring that excitement to XANGO. And I remember she called me in November and she said, my founder, this is going to be huge. And I said, what? And she said, well, I had a meeting last night with 4 people and we are going to start something big. And really what it was going after this particular marketplace, this young, excited, ready to work, ready to take chances marketplace. And that's what she did. And the next week it was a meeting with 8 people, and then 12 people, and then 18, and then 27, and then 50, and then 70, and then 120, to the point where she went and got she and her group actually rented a mansion in the heart of Mexico City, and they were having meetings every day, anywhere from 70 to 120 people. And then it came to 3 meetings a day. And then they started going to meetings in her office, to the point to today where there's over 600 people being presented not only to the XANGO products, but also to the XANGO opportunity. So people can get on the products, or they can build a business with the products. That is the most incredible thing about this. That opportunity is there for everyone. Fast forward 3 years, those young people have become great leaders in XANGO. As a matter of fact, one of them is on the verge of breaking 200K, and I would venture to say will probably be our next 500K in the marketplace for XANGO. It's a really exciting thing to watch. So much enthusiasm and vibrance. This is a market that we can't ignore. And it took a leader like Tommy Johnson to be able to come into that setting and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to start it in the United States and in North America, and we're going to do it. We're going to bring this market along, and I'm going to teach people how to be millionaires, how to be successful. And so, you know, we're grateful to have Tommy here. I've asked Ashley Ellefson to take Tommy and kind of interview him about the success of MB30. What has been really interesting to watch is MB30 is popping up all over the world right now. If you go to the MB30 Facebook, it's an open page where you can see all the excitement. A culture has developed where people are recognizing each other right there on the spot. When somebody brings somebody new into the MB30 movement, into the XANGO opportunity, they recognize them right there on the spot, sometimes with a picture holding their application saying, I'm going to do it. Other times it's recognition of breaking a new 1K or a 5K and so forth. I mean, there is a lot of activity, and it's something that we can't ignore. There's an invite video that makes it very, very easy for you to invite people to a 2020 party, a 2020 conversation, a 2020 conference call. And Tommy's going to get into the crux of that. So without any further ado, XANGO Nation, we are going to turn the time over to Tommy Johnson and Ashley Ellefson. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Awesome. Come on down, guys.
Come on down.
All right.
Take a seat.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for joining us today. If you have not had your Limitless already this morning, you better grab it and pound it and get ready, because when this is over, you're going to be ready to rock. I guarantee you. So Tommy, let's get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Ash.
Okay. So we just heard a little bit about the Mexico story, how when we were down there in February, you caught the vision. You know, I saw your eyes light up at that leadership dinner at Estella's house that night on the patio, and you pulled Aaron aside. You were blown away. All the young folk there, oh my goodness, it was amazing. It was an amazing, magical night, and you will never forget that night for what it started for you. So we know that story. For someone who's an existing XANGO distributor, over 30, looking to implement what you've done in your organization, in their own group, what advice do you have for them?
Well, in short, don't miss this. Embrace it and get to work, because this is an opportunity to change young people's lives, to give back, to mentor, to do what somebody did for you before at a time when it's the greatest it's ever been to help young people. You know, the economy's made it the right time. These young people have watched their parents over the last several years, in many cases, lose their houses, lose their marriages, lose their jobs. And they've learned, and school is not teaching them how to go out and become wealthy. It's not teaching them leadership. School is not teaching them all the things that we have learned to become millionaires and successful people in XANGO, that we can teach them. You understand? So get with some people who are having success with MB30. Check out the Facebook page for sure, and learn how to give 2020 parties, and then start turning it over to them. You know, this is really a platform for everyone who has kids. You know, people who have been in XANGO for years, whose children haven't been interested. Now all of a sudden their children. Well, what's the difference? It's the MB30 platform. So don't miss it. Really, I guess would be the best advice.
So where did they start? So with you, some of us may know the story of how you met Kamwela, and he was the young son of a friend of yours who lives in your same neighborhood, and he kind of identified you, right? He saw your expertise. He was ready to be coached. For someone who maybe doesn't have that person already in their lives looking for them, for someone who's, maybe someone who's in their 30s or older in XANGO, and they're looking for someone to identify in their group, what traits are they looking for in that person?
Well, it's funny because I like to go eat at Jimmy John's subs, and I also make the comment that I've never been treated bad in an Apple store or at a Starbucks. I'm always treated well, and I never saw these people as candidates, because they're so young. And my experience in my first 10 years in XANGO was that I just came up with the conclusion that young people didn't have the discipline to deal with the delayed gratification that it takes to be successful. And I was totally wrong. I misread young people, but that was really just a way for me to justify that, instead of getting better to make the business model fit into their lifestyle, it's just easier to say that. And so they're everywhere. Every time I go to Jimmy John's, I'm always thinking, man, these people who treat me were so good. And they're working for $7 an hour, $8 an hour. Open your mouth. Talk to people. I mean, they're everywhere, and they're hungry for this opportunity. So send them the text invite. Go to youtube.com/XANGO Limitless. Get out of your comfort zone. Talk to the people. Talk to these young women, these young men, and say, hey, are you open to make more money? Have you heard of MB30? It's a platform where a bunch of millionaires are helping help people become millionaires before 30. People who are already successful are teaching you how to be successful. And say, check out this video, then I'll give you a call back. Get their number if you can, or give them yours. They're everywhere, everywhere. I mean, seriously, it drives me nuts when somebody says, I don't know who else to talk to. Well, when's the last time you talked to your neighbor? I mean, people that have kids, have friends who have kids in that age. Or if you're older and you don't have kids, you know people who have kids.
Right.
And just get out of your comfort zone and talk to them. You're going to be shocked. People are going to be shocked. The highest percentage of people are signing up than I've ever seen. I've never seen it like this, where it is so easy to enroll people. People are enrolling on the spot. We're literally almost enrolling 100% of the people at our meetings. Unless they don't have the money, then we set an appointment for when they get paid, and then we enroll them, and then we get to work right now. And that's what, I guess, to go back and finish the answer to your first question is, get to work. I mean, seriously, these young people need us to lead them, and they want to work hard. We did a meeting, the one Joe was talking about, and there was young people at my house till 2 in the morning. Be prepared to work hard for a little while, but then be paid for the rest of your life on the efforts. So 2 in the morning doing calls, following up with the people that were at the meeting and signing them up. I mean, it's cool. It's like a hot knife through butter.
That's awesome. So I want to underline one thing that you just said, and if you're taking notes out there, you should write this down. So when you're approaching someone that's younger and you're looking at bringing them into your group, I just heard Tommy say, and what a fantastic line, hey, have you heard of MB30? How simple is that? Hey, have you heard of MB30? If not, we're making millionaires by 30. We're teaming young people up like you with people who have already been successful and made loads of money. Check out this text invite, and then get their number and send them the text invite. Hey, have you heard of MB30? As simple as that, guys. I love it. So tell me about why you identified, why was it so necessary for you to identify Kamwela and work with Kamwela? Why do you do that?
Well, I mean, first of all, his family's become some of our best friends, and we love Kamwela. But he's somebody who's been, I've watched him grow since he was 13 years old. He's a 2-time world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's undefeated in mixed martial arts, and that doesn't just happen. You have to have incredible discipline to get to that point. And he was actually, when he was 17, he asked me if I would take him to lunch once a week and we could talk about business and money and how it works, because he said, I want to be a multimillionaire by the time I'm 25. And if it comes from fighting in the UFC or something else, I'm going to make sure that happens. So you have somebody that has that fire in their belly, you want to help them. But I never talked to him about XANGO at all of our lunch meetings when we would do mentoring. I never talked to him about XANGO as the vehicle to do it. Shame on me, but that's because of my experience with building with the young people before. And then when he was 18 and a half, he started nudging me. So I said, come on, Tommy, let's build. So it really started MB30 to some degree. It's a collective effort here. And he was saying, hey, let's do this. And I was encouraging him to wait till Brazil opened, because he has influence in Brazil with jiu-jitsu. And he was kind of pushing me, and then when I went to Mexico and saw that, and then it reminded me of my mentor telling me the story of the young lions. He said the second big wave is usually pushed from these young people, and of the big growth curves in network marketing when the top earners come in this window, usually between years 7 and 12, right where we're at. So it just brought back all the memories. And I've always bought into the thought process, if you can do it, I can do it. So when I saw all those people succeeding in Mexico, I said, this is it. We're going to go home and run with this. But you look for somebody like Camuela who has the fire in their eyes, or Jerome Garrison, Rocky, that just aren't willing to take, that are hungry, that want more. And a much higher percentage of people in the younger group, they're not set in their ways. For somebody over 30, sometimes it's hard for them to the idea of going out and changing everything, changing their ways. They're not there yet. They don't know what they want to do. In school, in many cases, just funneling them down to a career that they don't have any passion towards. So
that's a great point. They're coachable, right?
Incredibly coachable.
Yeah. And you're so smart. You're smart enough to know you look in the mirror, you're not under 30.
No.
So you need a face, right?
That's
you
right.
need someone who can represent the MB30 movement, who you can edify, and then he can edify you right back, right?
And Camuela, he helps everybody. That video he made, that helps everybody in XANGO that wants to use it. It's not about him only, So we need a fearless leader. We need someone with the courage to go out and blaze the trail like Camuela Kirk.
Right. So, and if someone's starting from scratch, trying to identify...
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Very good question. Did you hear Ashley what she said? You just look in the mirror and you know you're not 30? What is that?
Do you have any LV?
No, so, thanks, Aaron.
I'm offended.
Well, hey, I'm over 30 myself, so I can say that, so it's okay. So if you're talking to someone who's starting from scratch, right? And by the way, this is yours. This is your lemon juice. You can
Thanks,
drink
Ash.
that. Have some of that now.
I need it.
All right. So
Since you're over 30.
yeah.
Since I'm so old, I've been
Oh geez. Okay, never gonna live that one down. Okay, so if you're starting out with someone brand new, you don't have the MB30 movement starting in your organization, and you've been talking to someone, you've introduced them to the text invite video. Now what do? You want to get them on the phone with somebody who's already been involved in the movement. So how can they go? Where can they go to identify someone? Can they call you? They can set up a call with Aaron. Aaron can talk to that young person. We're doing 3-way calls all the time. I mean, Aaron's schedule's packed, but we'll pack it some more. He doesn't need to sleep. He's young, right? So, Tommy, how can they find someone?
Aaron's got the whole company in his downline, so he works for everybody. Really, the MB30 movement group page on Facebook is an incredible resource. And when you send the text invite, you don't just text it. You call them first. People need to hear the music of your voice, your conviction, your excitement, and then you send it to them, and that piques their interest. It's really foolproof, but you don't use it all the time. It's case by case, and then you need, the whole objective is to get them to talk to somebody.
Right.
And so how can they find somebody? Well, be that somebody. In many cases, be the somebody. But also, you can look at the Facebook movement group page and find people. I'll help people the best I can. As much time as I have, I'm given to this. And Aaron, right now, and then eventually, there's going to be so many stories.
Right.
And when it really starts snowballing, and it already is in a short period of time, it's awesome.
Just to see the growth of Camuela and Jerome and so many of the young people in your group just over the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about network marketing is, you're on such a huge growth curve in this industry, and you learn so fast and you grow so fast. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the number one question that you're getting from young people in your area almost, consistently.
Yeah, it's different. In the over 30 age, it's, they have to go home and think about it. And the under 30, they don't have to go home and think about it. But the number one objection that they have is this a pyramid?
Yeah.
And I've never seen that on such a large scale. No, it's not a pyramid. This is a real business. And network marketing is about educating people anyways. All we're looking forward is the opportunity to educate people. Right. So if you use a text inviter, once you invite them, and then you get them to a 2020 party, or get them to a one-on-one with somebody in your upline, or get them on a 3-way meeting, or get them with Skype with somebody in your upline, or even stream into one of the other existing meetings, then let that other person handle that objection. But as soon as they understand how network marketing works and that it's not a pyramid scheme, I can't believe they think the scheme is what really gets me. Because scheme, I don't even think there's been a pyramid scheme for 20 years. But pyramid, what they usually mean is, does the top make all the money? No. No, I mean, historically, this wave produces the top money earners, and these people want to be the top money earners. They're not afraid. People under 30, they're hard workers, and summer's just about to start, so you're ready to see it really take off because they're out of school.
I love it. I love it. Let's shift gears here just a little bit and talk about some of the MB30 2020 parties that you've been hosting in your home and in Lindsay's home. We need to mention Tommy's beautiful wife, Lindsay, who has just been ultra tolerant with all of these people coming into her home. She's been very welcoming, and so we wanted to mention her as well. The MB30 parties, man, they're exciting. I had the opportunity to go to one in your home last week, and I'll tell you, it was, we were standing in the back corner, people were sitting on the floor in the kitchen, the house was packed, the energy was high. Let's talk about some of those details right now. So what is the environment that you're trying to create at the event?
One that's fun for them. It needs to be fun, it needs to be simple, and it needs to be super high energy. So when we start off at 2020, and as Aaron mentioned, the objective of 2020, okay, when somebody signs up and you say, well, what next? Make a list of people, and then let's start inviting them. We'll teach you how to invite. You have to teach your new people how to invite. It's an art, and it's something they'll get good at. And as they get better at inviting, they're going to have 100% of the people that they invite show up. But to have 20 or so, 20-some-year-olds, give or take, and a box of Limitless, because they get their Limitless and they host their own 2020, and so they can provide Limitless for their guests, and then 20 water bottles on ice. But what we're doing is we set the meeting. We're doing 8 o'clock because it's a little later than what it is before for people over 30. But they come at 7:30. 7:30 people start arriving, and then as the guests arrive, the Limitless that you provide is for the guests only, the new guests, and the water bottles, and it needs to be cold. So then they start drinking it, so they feel the product. They feel the product for sure, and then be mixing it up with your people. Have music on, music kind of loud.
Yeah, and tell us what
not classical music.
What radio station do you guys play?
On Pandora, we're currently using the Rihanna channel. Rihanna channel seems to have a good mix of music that's fitting. So anyhow, then drinking the Limitless and then talking with everybody to get them introduced, and then start the meeting at 8 o'clock. You're about a 40-minute presentation where you incorporate some of the young people that are starting to have success. Soon they'll be doing the meetings.
Right.
This is the very, very beginning, Ashley. The very, very, very beginning. The tip of the iceberg. So what you're going to see in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it's going to start snowballing. It's going to be out of control. But the people who do the work now are going to see massive growth in their business. And then after the meeting, turn the music back on instantly after the presentation, and then start signing people up. You need to have the applications forms where they can sign right there on the starter pack, the promoter pack, the builder pack, whatever. Get them in and then get started right then.
Yeah, one thing that I really felt when I was at your party was, man, it felt like I was going to a house party. I'm telling you, the music was blasting, everybody was hanging out, networking, meeting new people. They were on the phone with people, they were Skyping with people on their iPads, they had their iPads up and people were Skyping with Tommy before the meeting. Everybody was involved. There was so much energy. It was incredible.
Yeah, and they're so innovative. They'll make videos and so forth based on what they record that night, and instantly they're out there using those videos to build their business and taking pictures and sharing them. That Facebook page is association. Just everybody's associated and showing activity. And that right now is an incredible recruiting tool. That's one of the areas where we say, check out this page, and they go see the activity in such a short period of time happening, not just right in your location, but happening all over. But with 2020s, you can't have a 2020 on Monday and say, okay, everyone, at the end of the meeting, the next 2020 is Friday or next Monday. That won't work because they're ready to go to work right now.
You got to have somewhere to take their new people the next day, right?
When I was in Mexico, I asked Estella, and she said it started with 4 people. 4 people at a home party. She said, but I did them every single night for 60 days. That's a big commitment. But look at what she could retire 10 times over if she wanted to. Was it worth it? Heck yeah, it's worth it. It's a lot easier to go to take advantage of this time, this massive growth curve that we're creating, and give it all you got. Take this and put it way high on your priority list for a while, and then be paid for the rest of your life. What's the other option? These young people, they know it's go to work for somebody, work to home to work to home for 30, 40 years, and then try to retire. The system's not working. 1% of the wealthy people in America only 1% of the people in America end up wealthy.
healthy. So 1 out of 100. Every single under 30 person wants it to be them. Well, it's not going to just happen.
Right.
They have to find a vehicle, and this is the best I've ever seen, plug in and get going. But otherwise, they're going to be trading time for dollars.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work anymore.
And man, I'm telling you, their passion and their activity is consistent and high, and it's fueling that vehicle, and they're off. They're off to the races. So Camwella identified a day of the week that was working, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, well, we've been making sure that we do meetings on Friday.
Yeah.
Because they get paid.
Yeah, there you go.
So
they get paid on Friday. Good reason. And hey, kids, they want to get together with their friends. They want to hang out on Friday anyways. They're going to be together anyways. Give them a spot, give them a location, bring them in, and teach them at the same time. So it's an awesome opportunity on Friday. And we already talked about the time. We talked about the energy, people Skyping, people networking. What tools do you make available for people at your house when they come in?
Well, the product, obviously, and then, there's not really a whole lot of tools.
It's us talking to people. And that's really what network marketing is about, the communication. What we make available is the actual meeting itself.
Right.
And then, having some of the product and then the registration forms. Yeah, you need to have the forms handy.
And you made a good point too about putting out the limitless. Don't put out more than you need to, because they will drink what is out. They will take what's out. So you want to put out what you need, and then if you run out, you can put a little more out, but don't start with your entire inventory of limitless. I mean, you will blow through it in one meeting, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. The meeting should last.
We have people pick Rocky Shumway and his group picking people up in a party bus and bringing them to the meeting. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah,
they're drinking Limitless on the way.
Yeah.
Powerful.
I mean, they're pounding Limitless and water bottles in the limo on the way to the meeting. I mean, they're not. I mean, it's just
the Limitless is a product that they're already spending money on.
Yeah.
So if they say they don't have the money, yeah, they do. They're already spending it. And on a garbage product that doesn't work near as effectively as Limitless, that's more expensive to begin with. So it's just a transfer of dollars. It's a no-brainer. And 100% of the people love the effect of the Limitless. It works faster, it works better, there's no crash.
That's right.
So this is the next billion-dollar brand of XANGO right here. Camwella Kirk says this will outperform the juice, and it's a huge market. $15 billion market right now, projected to double in the next 5 years. The energy drink, and their bad press that's going to get more and more and more is placed right into our hands.
Absolutely.
Is good for us.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go to some of the training techniques that you're using in your group. I mean, we won't spend too much time on this, but how soon after someone signs up are you meeting with them to train?
Before the product arrives.
Okay.
Right away. Again, we need to move fast. This business is built on the concept of equity to some degree.
Right.
So we have to lock them in with equity and help lock their people in and believe their belief. And I've never seen it so fast. I mean, Chip Kirk, he went from one little bitty 1K to 5K in 1 month. I haven't seen that happen that fast. Just barely 1K after a few months to 5K, just like that. These people are hitting 1K no problem. Some of them are close to 1K in 1 day. Why not? Why not be a 1K in 1 day?
That's right.
1K in 2 days, 1K in 3 days. I helped somebody become a 1K in 4 hours.
Wow.
Tommy, talk about how you get them together and help them build their businesses and that synergistic.
Yeah, one of the things that's really, really effective is, inviting is really a pretty simple process. And that's where you're going to spend 90% of your time when you first enroll. So once they get signed up, all we need is them to invite them to a meeting or a call or something where your upline can talk to them and tell them what this could mean to them. And that's what it's all about. So what we're doing is, let's say today, what is today actually?
Today's Friday.
Okay, Friday. So if you signed up today, maybe later today or tomorrow, we get together and make your list. I'd help you make your list, because I don't know one person in my contact list that wouldn't like to make more money.
Right.
So they all have hundreds and hundreds of people in their contact list, hundreds of people on their Facebook page, that all of them want to make more money and all of them want to be healthier, and virtually all of them are already spending money on a product that's inferior to this by a landslide. So make the list, and then let's start calling them right now. So sit down, get with 3 or 4 people on the team, even cross-line people. They're all helping each other, and they'll sit down, and so if they're not scheduling this, you schedule it. And you say, okay, look, today's Friday, tomorrow, what are you guys doing at 11 o'clock? We sit down in a living room, at a coffee shop, wherever, and just watch how they work on their phones. You've never seen anything like it. And they'll just sit there, they'll make a list, and then now there's accountability. And everybody needs accountability. Why would somebody hire a fitness trainer? If you hire a fitness trainer, maybe if you don't know how to exercise, it's because you want to learn. But after a while, you know how after a few months, but they keep using the trainer. They pay for the accountability. So here, this is free accountability. So you sit down with your people and you go and you just start making calls. Force them out of their comfort zone, because now there's accountability. But somebody needs to step up with these meetings and not allow it to just turn into talking about, hey, how excited they are and what it's going to become. Somebody needs to start making calls. Say, okay, who are you going to call? And then just start calling people. And then they just start, they're like, whoa, it works. Then they see that it works.
Yep.
And then if you're, as the upline, you can be there with them sometimes and say, okay, well, you know, answer their questions, deal with their objections. They can hand the phone off to you right then. We had somebody, Eric, the other night, we were doing these. He stayed for 4 hours making calls, he and a couple of the guys. And somebody brought 3 people to the meeting with Joe as a result of it. Actually, what happened was the person he was talking to said, no, not interested. They didn't even know what he was not interested in, but he was not interested. And so I said, call him back and ask him if he knows any ambitious people. Say, hey, and call him back with a conviction in your voice. So he called his friend back. He said, hey, Alex, this is Eric again. I'm serious about doing this business, and I'm working with very successful people, and they've never seen anything like this MB30 movement. And I am going to be a millionaire by 30. Hey, Alex, out of all the people you know, who are the 2, if you had to pick 2 names of people that you think are most likely to succeed in life, and you can't pick me, 2 people that you would bet everything are going to go somewhere in their life, that are the most ambitious, the most driven. And he just instantly rattled off a friend. He said, can I get his number? We'll treat him professionally and with dignity, but I want to see if he's interested in this. And so called that person. He was a little skeptical at first, started to educate him that it wasn't a pyramid, and then put me on the phone with them, and then he ended up coming to the meeting with another person. He's signing up today, say Friday? So he's supposed to sign up today. So, you know, just there needs to be accountability. So groups, Rocky Shumway's doing it with his group. They ordered pizza and all get together. And they do their calls 10, 11, 12 at night a lot of times. So in a group session, and they're packing the house. They're professionals right out of the chute. They're fearless, and they love to be up in front of people. They're not afraid of cameras. They're not afraid to lead, right? I mean, it's awesome.
So number 1 priority that you're teaching your group, learn how to invite. And, you know, put it into action. Get them on the phone with you, get them to a one-on-one, get them to a meeting, invite, right?
Yeah, and the most important thing in the invitation process is that you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go around just play XANGO. Thinking about it, you can't will your business to be a premier. We have to get out and work. And that's really what we're instilling in these people. We're giving them direction and work and encourage them to work hard for right now. Really hard for a while, and the ones that are seeing growth faster than I've ever seen people grow in the business. But the invitation, the second most important thing is the tone in your voice, your conviction, your excitement level. Still be yourself. You have to be you, but you have to be excited about this. If you're not excited about this, you know, why would they be?
Yeah.
So the music, not the words.
What's the alternative to these guys? You know, if they're not going to start their own business and become an entrepreneur?
Work a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I mean, MB30 and XANGO is doing people network marketing in general forever has been the case, but giving them a great opportunity, making the world a better place, creating wealth, creating freedom, and giving people an alternative to going to work for somebody and trading their dollars, their time for money. Earned income is the worst money in the world. $10 an hour, you work for 8 hours, you get paid $10, and you let the government take half of it one way or the other. You know, they get it through taxes. It's the worst way to go through life financially. And you know, school is kind of funny to me, and I don't discourage school, but you know, they say you need to get good grades so you can get a good job. But isn't a good job about making money? How come they don't teach money in school?
Right.
So we have the opportunity, the obligation to go help teach them how to make money, how to have freedom. Because as what Aaron, I think, wants to point out, the other option is work for somebody forever and try to work your way up the corporate ladder, but you can't ever get up because when you look up, it's somebody's butt, the nephew of the CEO that you can't get above. The system is broken, it's not working, and these people recognize it already. What they're learning in school is not going to set them free. It's just not. And typically, more often than not, their parents don't know how to teach them because they don't know. And most of the wealth is owned by a few people. Only one person's wealthy. The 99% aren't. Only 5% of the people in America can take care of themselves by the age 65. The rest are dependent on the government or family members. So their parents don't know how to teach them. So you're seeing these young people come in and have the opportunity to retire their parents. I've never seen that's their main goal in a lot of cases. That's their drive. That's what the passion that they have is they want to bring their parents home from work.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Okay, Tommy, about that, talk about the parents thing. It was an interesting thing the other night in Phoenix when I was there, and how someone brought their dad.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And by the end, and he's able to add, you actually got him to add comments at the
Right.
point. And so it was really interesting to watch that dynamic and to watch him support it really by the end of the night.
Some people are coming in, and bringing their parents, and oftentimes it's a second exposure. Well, I'm really excited about my parents think that it might be, a pyramid or might not be that supportive. And then we just go talk to them because we've been building the business with people their parents' age for 11 years almost now. But we know it works, and that's where most of the millionaires have been created. But in some cases, like Joe's pointing out, the parents come to the first presentation. But 100% of the time they're satisfied. But afterwards, you go talk to them and show them, you communicate with them a little bit differently, and then next thing you know, they're trying to sell you on why their son or daughter is a great fit, almost like it's an interview. They're like, come on, man,
That's how it should be,
go
right?
do this.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's
looking for the
that's
right
exactly what happened at that meeting. I mean, it is exciting. It's a platform for the under 30 to come in and build and then have people sponsored right away. See, you fall back on the other products. See, his dad might not be interested in Limitless, but maybe the juice or maybe one of the other products. So they can come in and sign customers up with their parents right away, instantly.
Love it. So in closing, let's talk about just, a couple more pieces of advice. Someone who's just gotten in, who's not in your group, who's watching this for the first time, they're just getting started. What's your advice to those new people?
Go. Like, you mean somebody who's over 30 or under 30? Either.
Go.
Get to work. Get to work. Look, there's entry points in this industry. I know more about this industry than anybody ever needs to know to succeed. But let me tell you something. If you look at the big billion-dollar companies, and that's where we're going. This is the run. It's always that second growth curve, and it's always a young group, but it can't happen if you don't have founders at the helm that know what they're doing, that are driven. And if you have the right people at the helm, the company always grows ultimately. It cycles and grows, and but we do. Clearly, but in this case, the opportunity. Look, I've got a lot of people. I love iPhones. I've got a lot of people to use iPhones and switch over to Macs and so forth. But they've never even not paid me $1. They've never even given me a phone call.
Right.
Okay. Here you have the opportunity to grow, but the company's going to grow with or without you. So, but the growth is your opportunity. You see, so you can be paid infinitely. So traditionally, the great entry points in the industry are startup. Everybody thinks startup. At the beginning is when you need to get in early. Well, yeah, you do 95% of the time because 95% of these companies never see year 5. So if you didn't get in early, you never made money. And so every company grows at the very beginning because people leverage fear of loss and get in now. Fear of loss is such a temporary motivator. Dreams. We've proven that we can help people live their dreams. We've got proof. That's what the 120 millionaires are. That's partly what makes this the perfect storm, is we've got the proof.
Right.
And that's our job. That's our responsibility to give back. Look, these young people didn't choose to be left with more debt, less jobs, and less pay than any time in history. This wasn't their doing. They're not happy about it. It was ours. So this is our opportunity to go change that, to give them a plan. I mean, I feel responsible. I take full responsibility for my children's financial intelligence. And I take responsibility to help do my part to help just America alone with what we have to offer, with what we've left them with. So get in early, get in now, that's too risky. And unfortunately, so many companies do it wrong. Is that and then a bunch of young people run? That's why they're saying pyramid scheme, because they didn't know how to pick a company, they didn't know how to pick a team, they didn't understand the importance of great timing. And so then they run around when it didn't work, and they tell people, that doesn't work. You don't want to do that, and try to keep their friends from realizing their dreams. It's really too bad when the reality is they didn't work. They didn't understand they didn't have something like what we have right now.
Right.
And they didn't know how to pick it, or they were not coachable. Another entry point that historically people think is great, and it has been good, is when a company launches a new product that has great economic potential and at the right timing in the economy. So you can have a great product that's not an upward trend and only have reasonable success. Here with Limitless, it's ridiculous. And then when a company opens another country. But I've never seen an entry point like what this is right now. When you have the stability of the company that's that's knocked the leather off the ball in the first 10 years, changed the game, created more wealth than any others. Clearly is the next big one. You have so many people that have had so much success, and they're so cool with the right time in the company, with the right team. You know, every single person that comes in now has upline millionaires to help coach them. But with a market that's never been touched before, and the market that's hungrier than ever with the MB30, you know, the under 30 movement group, this is the time to come in and give it. I mean, get to work.
Love it.
Do a lot. Just fill your calendar with calls, meetings, 3 ways. I mean, the people over 30. That's what got us there in the first place.
Yeah.
And that was in the risky point. This is risk, and this is risk. This is no risk. So it's startup all over again with the stability and the excitement of a company that's already done it.
Tell them about the use of technology and the streaming, all the different forms of technology. These guys take it and run.
Oh yeah. You know, the old way of doing the business, you know, just slowly, onesies, twosies, doing the meetings here and there. You want to learn how to build a fast network marketing business. Watch these young people, and that's what we're doing. We're adjusting the business model to fit into their lifestyle.
Right.
You're going to see cool, you know, an app coming out real soon that allows them to go build at their speed. I mean, that's never been done before like this. You're going to see, they'll make videos and so forth. They'll use Facebook. You want to learn how to use Facebook right? Watch the young people. I'm embarrassed by how we've been using Facebook to try to build the business. I did 2 calls last night for people, last night in my hotel room at midnight. Yeah, I called Aaron into one with people that they were found on Facebook. And so we've signed up more people from Facebook in the last 6 or 7 weeks than I've seen come into my business since Facebook started.
Wow.
You know, I have 5,000 Facebook friends and thousands of followers, and I've never signed anyone up from Facebook sending stuff out. Now, we've had dozens and dozens sign up just in the last few weeks in these young people's group, but they know how to use social media the right way. We don't.
Right.
And I'm telling you, that's going to be a huge part of the business moving forward. 1 billion users, you know, and again, every one of their Facebook contacts wants to make more money.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a few people here live with us. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up?
You know what? Let's just mention, you briefly run over, Tommy, about Limitless. I mean, what in the presentation you actually show and now you're talking from an Arizona perspective, but $1.56 per serving.
Yeah.
$1.56, folks. Let's just think about this. There is not an energy drink out there in any marketplace where you can buy it for $1.56.
Yeah. And it's more than an energy drink.
Oh, I know.
You know,
of
the
course.
focus. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Focus. Yeah, but there isn't. But there seriously isn't.
No, there's nothing like it.
From a
That's what
price
I knew
perspective.
when I sat down with Yoko Little and she was telling me about Limitless, and I was asking her a series of questions and they were all rolling off of her tongue. And I was, as she was kept going, I'm like, this is much more than anything else out there. There's nothing like this. And in network marketing, you have to have a story. And when I said, what's the competition? And she just goes, I don't know. There is none. Winner. That's when I knew you had this huge market trend, this product that there's no competition for, that's already less expensive. Even from that perspective, forget about everything else. You could, you know, everybody should be consuming this product.
Right. And how convenient is this?
Yeah, I mean cans. Who puts stuff in cans anymore? That, to me, that's 2001, 2002. Our can has to be cold. In network marketing, we have our product shipped to us. Expensive to ship.
Right.
You can't travel with it. It's bulky.
Yep.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is the future.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll add to that focus thing. You're completely right, Tommy, because it's not just an energy drink. First of all, it is the energy drink.
Yeah.
But the focus part, you know, we put GABA in there, we put Gata Cola in there, we put Panax Ginseng in there for that reason. And these guys are going to school.
No, I know.
mean, they need as much focus as they could possibly get, and that's why they are dropping $1.99 to $2.99 per energy drink.
Yeah, they're pounding Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster,
Could be
5 Hour
twice a
Energy.
day.
Yeah, 2-3 times a day. I was asked to speak in a college last week for the first time to the Intro to Business class. The professor asked me to speak, and there was about 12 of the students that had, you know, energy drinks sitting there on their desk, or big, huge Mountain Dews. And I asked the gal, so we drink the Mountain Dew for? She goes, because the caffeine, the way it makes me feel. Coffee is the #2 import into America. Why do people drink coffee? Because of the caffeine, the way it makes them feel. If they say that's not why, well then tell them to drink decaf. They won't do it. So that's the market potential, and the economic potential of any business is the economic potential of the product itself.
Right.
And so here we have this product. If this is all we had, we can build an empire. It's better, it's cooler, it does more. I mean, these kids, they don't have to take pills that they know they shouldn't be taking, that they're taking at college to stay up to do their homework, and they're drinking energy drinks, they're saving money right out of the chute. There's people, they're getting, that's why you want to get more than the starter pack if you can. You want to get the builder pack, you want to get the promoter pack, so you have product to get out there and sell. A lot of them are selling this $40 a box, or they're selling the Limitless for $2, which is already better, and it doesn't cause the spikes in their blood sugar like all the people are getting because their adrenals are totally burnt out from all the caffeine. That's their natural energy. So they're dependent on coffee. They're dependent on Starbucks, Rockstar, Monster, 5-Hour Energy, and it's not even giving them the energy that it used to give them because that synthetic caffeine fries their adrenals. And so then they don't feel how they used to feel again. And so now it's just a glucose spike that they get. Well, guess what? When your blood sugars goes up, it has to come down. Well, guess what happens when it comes down? You crave sugar, carbs, fats. And so that even all these energy drinks, besides the other things that it causes like death, it's causing spike, the #1 epidemic in America, because you crave all these things because when the glucose drops down, the sugar, that's leading to diabetes and obesity, which is the #1 epidemic in America. You won't have that with this. Yeah. Just that alone. We have a gal in our group, she's a strength coach underneath Jerome Garrison. Her name's Jessie. She was real skeptical. We put her on the phone, and this is a great resource to build with. Jessie and Trish Allen, the Fafeo experts. She spoke with both of them. She had a 4 to 6 Red Bull a day habit because her adrenals were totally fried. And she was skeptical that this would help her adrenals start firing. She thought maybe it would, but after a while. First week, she'll get on and talk to anybody. First week, she was only taking 1 to 2 Limitless a day, and going and doing her 7-mile runs and everything. She couldn't believe. And then she'd wake up in the morning with more energy even before this because her adrenals were starting to fire again because the caffeine derived through green tea and the antioxidant value of the mangosteen and the green tea combat adrenal exhaustion. Yeah. I mean, just from a product perspective, they understand that. 100% of the people will come over and use this product. I mean, every adult's drinking coffee. They're drinking coffee. My dad drinks a pot of coffee a day. My mom she might as well have, she's going to get mad at me for this, but an IV hooked up to her from coffee. And I said, switch to decaf. And she said, no. And now she's off and she's taking this product and she feels better. Mm-hmm. And then, there's coconut water in here to help with hydration. Right. And electrolytes, like there's in Gatorade and so forth. I mean, this product should be $5 a piece. I can't believe it. When I saw that the price point was already what it was, and it's largely due to the source because of XANGO, the sourcing of the ingredients. You can take another product, somebody will try to make one just like it, and if they could, and they'll have impure ingredients, low source, it won't work. And so, I mean, we own this. XANGO owns this, and the name is perfect. Even the name's cool, Limitless. It really is limitless. In every perspective, this product is limitless. It gives us limitless opportunities because of the business model. It gives us limitless opportunities because of the timing and MB30. It gives us limitless opportunities because we can literally change our lives and retire our parents and be set for life at this time, right now, in XANGO. Right now. If you work like your life depends on it, you can be totally set for life. Not hope to, but expect to be set for life in 2, 3, 4 years. And I don't say that lightly. I would not say that if I didn't believe it.
All
and
right.
I've done it.
Yeah. I think that's a great spot to go ahead and wrap it up here. Brian, will we be able to post this on XANGO.tv.com so you can rewatch this, take notes? I know you probably couldn't write as fast as Tommy was talking. So again, it's XANGO.tv.com.
No, TV.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's say that again. Okay, tv.xango.com. Again, tv.xango.com to rewatch this session with Tommy Johnson. Thank you so much for being here, Tommy. It was a pleasure to have you.
Ashley.
All right.
Thanks. MB30, baby.
All right.